don't get what I want, I get what I need. Every single day I'm heading off to my dream, and I get everything that I damn well please. I don't give a damn if you all listening to me, cause I run it. I'm the only one that really want it, I'm the only one that's really on it. I'm just being honest, I'm just doing everything I promise, cause I want it bad enough that I'ma make it as an artist. And I know I'm not the smartest, and I know I'm not the largest, but I promise you that I'ma be the one that worked the hardest. Cause I promise you that I'm just getting started, and I promise you that my skills are getting sharper. So I'ma get charted, can't be guarded. Nah, I'm the one to get retarded, get the party started.
Hey guys, I'm working the part. Psych. We're really doing this again. You guys know that 58.9% of you aren't subscribed. Like, what's going on? It's so easy. And look, here's a clip right now if you don't believe me. Anyway, there's going to be a clip the entire part probably. But anyway, you guys are going to have 5 seconds to like, subscribe, and comment down below, done it. If you comment down below, like, subscribe in that 5 seconds, or you have bad luck for the rest of your life. Other than that, I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get into it. Guys, and welcome to part 1 of a new Whatif. And this one is, what if Deku had a perfect copy quirk? When I mean perfect copy, I mean like I am his quirk, but perfect. It doesn't have a time limit. And he can save these quirks forever, like he can reactivate them whenever he wants, as after he copies them. And he don't need to touch them to copy them, he just needs to see the person do it. He just needs to see the person, he can read their quirk straight away from that, and then he can copy it. This is the most powerful idea I can really think of. It's basically all for one, but Deku don't need to steal their quirks, the people get to keep their quirks. Anyway, the like goal for the next part is going to be 50 likes, and let's just jump right into it. When Deku was born, the doctors gave him a checkup and all that, and Inko asked for some water and used her quirk to put it towards him. And Deku did the same thing, but instead of a little cup of water, it was a huge cabinet. Because Deku's quirk also amplifies it, and the doctor straight away said you have his mother's quirk, but it's far stronger. Inko smiles. Then when the doctors were putting Deku, and Deku was leaving the hospital. One sec, guys. Deku saw a man with a lightning quirk, still a baby, but far more aware than you should be. And Deku copied this quirk straight away, shooting electricity out everywhere, hitting the ceiling, causing bear marks and hitting lights and blowing them out. Doctors are confused, and one of them looks to the left side and sees this man with the same quirk, but it seems to be a bit weaker. They straight away have an idea what this quirk is, and they take Deku to a facility and show him just a video of Endeavor using his quirk, and Deku instantly copies it, shooting fire everywhere, but this flame's blue. And they assumed right. Deku can copy any quirk just by seeing it, they say, but Izuku Midoriya can. And he seems to be able to amplify it far stronger. And they just wonder. They leave Deku alone, and they see a toy and it shoots towards his hand. And they say he can also keep quirks. He's very powerful. That quirk is insane. And Inko's just a bit shocked, and they all think that Deku's going to be the next #1 hero. So throughout his childhood, Deku didn't really tell anyone his quirk. He just let everyone think he was quirkless, as his mother told him not to brag about his power. He's just used to help people. Till one day Bakugo was trying to launch an explosion at him and tell him he was quirkless. Deku had enough and launched an explosion back, bigger than Bakugo, so it sent Bakugo flying, burning a bit of Bakugo's arm. And he's like, Deku, what? Deku snaps and says, Ka-chan, I'm not quirkless. My quirk is to copy others' quirks, and I can keep them and make them stronger. So my quirk's better than yours. And he launches a big explosion up into the air, scaring all the people off. And something Deku hasn't been able to do before. He looks at the kid with wings, and still annoyed, the wings pop out of his back and he flies after him, picking up the kid, and warns both of them who tried running away, if you ever mess with me again or bully anyone else and I find out, I will beat the hell out of you. And Deku drops him, and wings pop, and the wings go back into Deku's back. Bakugo's confused. He can copy every type of quirk. What? Wait, can he copy all mine? But this thought quickly goes out of Bakugo's head, And the first thing he does is to apologise to Deku and tells him they're rivals. Deku smiles, and from that no one ever picked on Deku. And him and Bakugo are trained together. Deku being able to use the full possibility of Bakugo's quirk. Deku teaches Bakugo more about his quirk, how he can propel himself and fly. And Bakugo being young, this is very amazing for him, as a kid's dream was always to fly, and Bakugo and Deku can do it. They fly around the cities, and it's soon become a problem as they're using their quirk like without a license and all that. But since they're not hurting anyone, they let it slide, the heroes, every time, and they all got used to them. So Deku and Bakugo are like best friends, still even in middle school, and they both use explosion to fly around. And because they're using it far more and at a higher level, their resistance to it, like Bakugo's arms don't hurt, their resistance to it went up a lot. And it was all good and well. And Deku one day is walking home, and instead of flying, he takes a walk, and he tells Bakugo he'll meet him later. When he's walking, the slime villain comes out and attacks him. Deku getting surrounded by it, he thinks, maybe I can, and he copies the slime villain's quirk, turning into slime and slipping out himself. Slime says, "What, you had the same quirk? Impossible!" Deku turns back into his normal body. And as the slime villain attacks him, he shoots out electricity along with a blast of fire, hitting the slime villain. And then, using an explosion, he flies behind it and launches a huge, powerful one. That's when All Might appears, and he sees the slime villain beat by Deku. He asks the young man what his quirk is, and Deku says, "Perfect copy. Any person I look at, I can instantly copy their quirk, and I can keep it and hold it." When All Might hears this, he's like, "What?" And he thinks to himself, it's like all for one, but he doesn't steal them, he just copies. And Deku says, also the quirks become far stronger when I use them. And he looks at All Might and says, as you can read quirks, their names appear above their head of what their quirks are. One for all. He touches All Might's arms, and electricity shoots into Deku as full count activates. All Might's shocked. He copied all for one? Impossible! And Deku power starts radiating from Deku. It's like, All Might, is this your quirk? It's insane. But when this happens, something changes inside All Might. He's sick. He falls downwards, but his power's surging. It's like, what's happening? Like, what seems to be ghosts start floating out of All Might. He recognizes one as Nanashirama. We know that these are all the previous successors of One For All. And these all zoom inside Deku as more power explodes from him. But something's weird for All Might. Normally, even by the second, his quirk would go down slightly. It seemed to have shot back up to what it used to. And it's not going down at all. And he's like, I've been restored and it's not going down, but my time limit. And he feels his side. Deku sees this and using like super speed pulls up his shirt. He's like, you. And before All Might can hit him away, Deku touches his side and using one of the super healing quirks he's picked up, heals it. And All Might's like, what? My time limit's gone. I'm back to how I used to be. I'm back. All Might sheds a tear a bit, and then he realises he snaps back into reality. And he picks Deku up and jumps away. Now being far stronger, he jumps away higher than he meant to. This just makes him more excited than he lands. He explains to Deku about his quirk and all that, and Deku smiles. And then he says to Deku, well, you have responsibility now. It seems our quirk is duplicated. And that means you can pass it on as well, and I'm pretty sure you'd keep it. But you're my successor now. That means your responsibility is to become the next #1 hero. And I bet you could do it with the quirk you had before, let alone all these ones. Now, before I'd say, before you copied my quirk, I was a lot weaker than in my prime. But once you did it, it somehow happened. I restored. And now I guess I'm 64 times stronger than before. And Deku is shocked, like, you was that powerful before, but now 64 times. And All Might says, yeah, but you're actually stronger. And he's like, well, only use, I'd say, for your body type 5%. As Deku training with Bakugo is getting the same muscle. Deku doesn't listen and goes a full 100% smash. And nothing happens. He just blows away whatever he hit, and nothing broke anything. and All Might's wondering what's happened. Deku says, oh, it's probably the super resilient quirk I copied. Basically, someone's was indestructible, like, entirely. And All Might says, perfect mix. You can use that quirk fully, you're stronger than me now. And wait, what school do you plan to go to? Deku says UA. All Might says, perfect, I'm teaching there anyway. Deku's eyes light up, but that's when the explosion appears. Before All Might can even jump away, or after it, Deku's beat him to it, and he lands in front of the, like, heroes, shocking them. Bakugo sees Deku and says, Deku, help! Not being too proud to ask for help from Deku. And Deku says, okay. The slime villain sees Deku and begs the heroes to keep Deku away from him. But they don't listen, they're just a bit confused. And Deku activates full cow 50% and in a flash hits the slime villain off Bakugo. But instead of letting it fly away, he grabs it and slams it back down. Then he tells Bakugo to join in. They both use the explosion, fly up in the air, and dive down, and with their strongest explosion blast it, burn out the slime villain. The heroes are shocked. What Deku? What quirk does he have? And then you think, wait, they both have the same quirk? But before any questions are asked, All Might jumps down and grabs both of them and jumps away. And Bakugo's like, what? And he's like, oh. And then it gets explained. Deku explains that, and Bakugo is shocked. All Might's thinking to himself, what if, young Bakugo, would you like to be the other successor? As All Might saw that with Deku being his best friend, he would train it, and he already has a strong enough quirk that would suit One for All. And Bakugo, being a big fan of All Might, says he agrees. He's like swallows All Might's hair in the original, and with Deku having like a time manipulation quirk, he speeds up the process, and Bakugo can feel the power surge. And then All Might thinks, wait, what's gonna happen? One for All doesn't fade at all. Deku's done something to him, but it's keeping his power level the same. Now there's 2 successors for One for All, 2 links, 2 great heroes. And Bakugo activates it fully, but his arm breaks. He screams in pain and Deku manages to heal it. And he says, so you're not like me. This is a super insane power, Ka-chan, and you need to learn to use it. Try to transfer it through your body. And something with Deku around, he seems to have another effect on people. They learn a lot quicker. And Bakugo manages to access full cow, and then he says, imagine like your explosions, how you can create little sparks or big ones. Try to control it, keep it at 5%. And Bakugo manages this and starts dashing around thinking yes, and launching an explosion, realising it's a lot more powerful. And then he realises his stamina's gone. Bakugo collapses unconscious. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you share with your friends, family. Oh, okay. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you share with your friends, family, like everyone, your dog, your cat, your guinea pig, your hamster, your chinchilla. And yeah, just hope you enjoyed, and yeah, for the next part, hit the like goal, blah blah blah, peace out. If I'm rushing through this, it's because it's 1 AM for me and I have to wake up and go Basildon tomorrow. Bye.